Yeah, for those of you who are piping experts, one of the things I've found as I've got older is you just find it's a sign of age when you're lifting your fingers up, they don't come up quite as cleanly before, and you start to hear wee things that perhaps you never did when you were younger, and I'm starting to hear them now. Okay, I'm going to play. Do you remember the great big storm there was in the islands a few years ago, and a young family lost their lives? Well, the grandfather, the chap called Colin Campbell, he was the old man who lost his life, and he was a very good piper actually. But he was a better composer than he was piper, and I used to play a lot of his tunes when I used to go up to everything and do recitals, and he always used to come off at the back, and he was very proud. I remember him as a boy competing at the games. And of those of you who had Roderick Cannon's first book, he was the piper on the cover of that book, the first edition of that book. This is called the opening of the Caronish School Extension. Caronish is a wee place in the south end of North Uist, and an extension was put on the school, and the good chap he was, he composed a tune for the opening, so it's quite a nice 3/4. And then I'll play Pipe Major Angus MacDonald by Alan MacDonald, a great tune, big man, big powerful man. Then into Norman, you'll remember Nahoganig when I was a boy, yeah, Malmara. So I'll play one of their tunes, a tune that was composed by Murdo McFarlane from US called Malmara. Again, the MacDonald, the Glenuig boys used to play this a lot. And then the Sands of Loch Bee. Now, many of you will know it as the Shores of Loch Bee. But actually, there was a name before. It was actually composed by John MacDonald of the Glasgow Police, and it was called the Glasgow Police March Past. That was the first name of the tune. And one of the things that happened up there is that tunes used to be renamed. There's a few tunes. The Dark Island, you know the Dark Island, that wasn't the original name of that tune, nor was it the original composer. So that happened a lot up there. And so this is just another example of where a tune got renamed, but John is Johnny Rochin is the composer. And then I'll try and play a couple of reels. I'll do a Through Me, or Wretched Man Am I, Old Man Am I. A version of the reel of Tulloch, from a piper who has meant a lot to me when I was growing up, a chap called Colin Beaton. And then finally, one of the great Uist reels actually, Fodder from Bottach. Doing the Fodder. How do you pronounce it, Norman? And you listen to me. Dilton Bottach Fotterdom.
That's good. You got it right.
So this is one of the great 4-part South Uist reels, which just sort of is relentless. And then I'll play some hymns, actually some Gaelic hymns, which you hear in the churches. And then I'll go into St James Blond of the Isles. Okay, just the pipes should settle a wee bit by then. Now, I play the Bineas setting, Andrew, which intellectually I think is superior to the one in the People Society for those, again, people aficionados amongst you. There's a more consistent pattern between the ground and the variations. So again, some interesting, all of this, when I talk, it's sort of, I've got to play the pipe a bit longer just to get it settled again, but I hope, is this helpful, all of the stuff? Okay, well, this tune was composed by a chap called William MacDonald from Valais in North Uist, and what happened was that so James MacDonald here is one of the MacDonalds of Sleat, and just after the the Norse occupation, North Uist was given to the MacDonalds of Sleat. That was around about, I think, 1455. I was looking it up today, but 1485, and it stayed in their ownership until the back end of the 1800s, mid-1800s, 1855. So a chap called John Powlett Ward bought it, and it was now in the hands of the Granville family, who actually the people in North Uist are very happy with, and haven't sort of progressed a buyout, unlike in South Uist, my own island, where we have, and it's going very successfully. The clearances started in North Uist before it was sold, so the clan chief sold out, okay, and so the MacDonalds of Sleat sold out in 1855, but the clearances started in the 1820s because of the failure of the kelp industry. So it's shocking that these, it's just my personal opinion, but it's shocking what these people did to their own and then sold out, and clearly it gained from that, and you can still see that through the generations. Certainly here in London, as we've got a big Borsdale, sort of this business down here, which is actually run by Ranald the Younger, who's a great bloke actually, and I've got nothing against him, but clearly that money came from somewhere. Now, of course, James MacDonald of the Isles, he had no right to use that title, but in the Gaelic, it was always MacLean of Pennycross. That was the title he was called in the Gaelic, and it was just because of that he was allowed to continue to use that title, so James MacDonald of the Isles. So it's composed by William Valet. It's a nice simple tune, so those of you who aren't Peterborough aficionados, and I know that some of you aren't, hopefully you'll get the pattern and the melody of this. It doesn't last too long, so if it is purgatory, then it won't be too long. And then what we'll do is that brings the first half to an end. So that should be